Hey there, mysterious internet traveler. You've just stumbled upon my humble little corner of the digital universe. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money and share this video before your cat steps on the keyboard. And tell me, where in the world are you watching from? Your comments are my favorite late-night reading. Let's dive in. I was filling my mug when Cindy entered the kitchen. In one hand, she carried the small suitcase she always used on weekend trips to see her parents, a duffel bag balanced on her opposite shoulder. Her expression was composed. "I think I need some time away," she said, lingering just outside the border of the tiled floor, as if unsure whether to cross into the room. "Away from what?" I asked, though I already knew the answer. "From this, from us, from being married," she said. "I just need space to think. It's not permanent, just for now." I looked at her, silently. Her eyes were dry, her voice steady. She'd clearly gone over this moment in her mind more than once. Maybe she hadn't rehearsed the exact words, but the delivery was practiced. She'd braced for a reaction I didn't give. "Okay," I said, stepping aside. "That's it? No questions?" "No," I repeated. She blinked, maybe surprised. Perhaps she'd expected an argument, or some desperate promise to change. But the truth was, the separation had started long before this moment. Her body was present, yes, but the rest of her had slowly drifted away. At dinner, her silence drowned out even the city noise. She walked to the door without offering comfort, no kiss goodbye, only a quiet, "I'll call you," tossed over her shoulder. Then the door closed, and the lock clicked behind her. I didn't follow. I didn't move. I just stood there. That was Saturday. By Sunday, the quiet had deepened. Not heavy, just vacant. The first week passed in muscle memory. I woke at 6:15, hit the gym, showered, and buried myself in work. Emails, meetings. Her slippers stayed beside the bed. I didn't touch them, not to pretend she was still around. I just didn't see the need to alter anything yet. I wanted to experience life without her presence. Oddly, it wasn't as suffocating as I'd anticipated. The stillness didn't crush me. Jonathan, my younger brother, stopped by on Wednesday. He brought pizza and beer, like we were roommates again. He glanced around. "You doing okay?" "I'm all right," I told him. We didn't say much more. We watched the game and exchanged a few jokes. The next morning I noticed the chipped red mug she favored was no longer on the shelf. She must have taken it. That choice spoke volumes. You don't pack your favorite coffee mug if you're just taking a breather. Friday, I stayed late at work, came home to leftovers and an untouched kitchen. I watched one of those films she never liked and slept soundly. No tears in the bathroom, no unraveling moments, just space. Not the kind she requested, but the kind I hadn't known I needed until it was mine. It had been 12 nights since she left. I remember because I was halfway through a slow-paced documentary on animal migration, exactly the type that always made Cindy oddly emotional, when my phone rang. It was 11:40 p.m. Her name lit up the screen. She hadn't called or messaged since that night. I let it ring twice, then answered. "Hey," she said. Her voice was soft, not trembling but slowed, as if dulled by wine or something stronger. "Hey," I replied. A pause followed. "I wasn't sure I should call. It's late." I didn't respond. "I was thinking about that documentary you watched last year, the one with the Arctic wolves. You told me the alpha pair stays together for life, remember?" I didn't answer. "So, is this really about wolves?" she asked. She exhaled. "No. I've just been thinking. The silence here is different from the silence back home. Yours feels more intentional." I waited. "Do you miss me?" she finally asked. That was why she'd called. "I don't know yet," I said. Another stretch of quiet. "Okay," she whispered. I could hear music faintly playing in the background, one of her old sentimental playlists. "You don't have to shut me out, Martin." "I'm not," I said. "I'm just being honest." She didn't say goodbye. The call ended. I stared at the screen for a while before opening my contacts and deleting her name. Not out of spite. but because I didn't want to keep holding space for someone who might never come back. On Monday, I found myself in the elevator with Ava from the sales team. Assertive and sharp-edged, she had a directness most people found off-putting. We hadn't spoken much outside of work meetings. "Got a minute?" she asked. "Sure." She hesitated. I wasn't sure if I should say anything, but I saw Cindy over the weekend. I didn't react. "Where?" "Riverfield Music Hall, Friday night." I nodded. She always liked that venue. She wasn't alone, Ava added, watching me carefully. Tall guy, gray jacket, glasses. They looked close. "What do you mean?" Leaning into him, sharing a drink. Their arms touched a lot. "You know the kind of closeness I mean." I nodded again. "Thanks for letting me know. You all right?" "I'm fine." And I was. That evening, I pulled our wedding album from the shelf, paged through it, and placed it in a storage bin in the hallway closet. Not in anger, just because the pictures no longer reflected reality. Later, I opened her dresser drawer, a scarf, a bottle of perfume, an old hoodie. I packed it all into a small box, sealed it, and set it in the garage. No notes, no emotion, just finality. She'd asked for time, and she'd used it, not to reflect, but to explore something else. Someone else. The next morning, I drove downtown and filed the divorce papers. No wavering, no dramatic moment, just a quiet, necessary step. She'd called it a pause, but what she really wanted was a clean escape from accountability. 3 weeks had passed since she closed the door behind her. It was late Saturday afternoon when I returned from a run, lungs still burning slightly, and heard the doorbell ring. I opened the door, and there she stood. Her hair was tied back, a hoodie zipped to her chin, face bare of makeup. But it wasn't how she looked that held me. It was the uncertainty in her posture, as if she was still debating whether to step forward or turn away. "Can we talk?" she asked. I didn't respond right away. I let the silence settle between us before stepping aside. She walked in slowly, like someone entering a room from an old memory, unsure if it would feel the same. Her eyes drifted over familiar corners, as if expecting some shift that hadn't happened. Nothing had changed, except her. She stood still, arms folded tight across her chest. "I've been thinking," she began. I said nothing. "These past few weeks have been a lot. I thought putting space between us would clear my head, but the longer I stayed away, from you, from here, the more I realized how much I'd taken for granted." Her voice caught faintly. "I miss the quiet. I miss feeling safe here. I even miss the little fights. I miss us. I want to come back." Instead of answering, I went down the hall, came back carrying a box, and set it on the floor between us. Her brow furrowed. "What's this?" "Your stuff," I said evenly. "From the dresser, the bathroom, the drawer." Her head tilted slightly, like denial might rewrite what she was hearing. "Wait, what do you mean?" I met her stare. "You wanted distance. This is what it led to." She stepped closer, voice unsteady. "Martin, please." "Take your things," I said, "and leave." Her mouth trembled, but the tears didn't come yet. She hadn't realized the doorway she thought remained open had long since closed. She stared at the box as though it confirmed something she wished she could unsee. "I didn't think," she whispered. "I didn't think you'd stop loving me so quickly." "I didn't," I said quietly. "I just stopped waiting to matter to you." "I was lost," she murmured. "I felt stuck. I needed space to figure myself out." "So you walked away," I said, "and filled that silence with someone else." Her breath hitched. "What are you talking about?" "Eva told me," I replied. "She saw you, at Riverfield Music Hall, Friday night." Her lips parted. "It wasn't what you think. You don't understand. He wasn't who I thought. It didn't mean anything. He's gone." I nodded slightly. "And now you're here." She hesitated, then said softly, "I never stopped loving you." I didn't answer. I just looked at her, not angry, not cold, but finished. "You miss the comfort," I told her, "the familiarity, the ease, but not me." Her mouth opened, but no words came. I was building a life with you, I said. I didn't know you only planned to visit it. That's when the tears finally broke. Don't do this. We can fix this. No, I said. You don't get to break it, walk out, then call it home again. I didn't mean to hurt you, she pleaded. But you did, I said simply. And what you meant doesn't erase what you did. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. This house, I said, softer now, was ours. Now it's mine. So is the peace in it. Her shoulders shook, but she didn't argue further. I nodded at the box. Please. She moved toward it slowly, no pleading, no last words, just quiet acceptance, like someone realizing too late the price of their choices. A week later, Jonathan called. He told me Cindy had been asking about me. She didn't say much, he admitted. Just wanted to know how you're doing, if you're seeing anyone. He paused. I didn't tell her anything. Didn't think it was my place. Thanks, I said. There wasn't anything left to tell her anyway. Before we hung up, Jonathan hesitated. You don't sound angry, or even upset, just done. He was right. I wasn't carrying the hurt anymore. No heaviness in my chest, no restless questions at night. Not bitterness, just clarity. The kind you find when you stop begging someone to see your worth. By then, the papers were signed. Simple, no arguments. She didn't contest the house. Maybe guilt, maybe surrender. The rest we divided quietly. No courtroom, no shouting, just ink on paper. When she left that office, she didn't glance back. Weeks went by. I started filling the empty spaces, joined a Saturday basketball league, went for drinks after work, met someone, Julia, sharp, funny, uncomplicated. Conversation flowed. We laughed easily. Cindy's name never came up, and I never brought her there. Sometimes an old friend would text, she keeps asking about you, says she still loves you, says she regrets everything. My reply became automatic. Please don't tell me what she says, it doesn't matter. Not because of anger, because it was true. She'd made her choice. I'd made mine, and mine stayed final. You can't rebuild a house when only one person is holding the bricks. The silence she left no longer rang hollow. It was simply quiet now. 3 months later, I got an invitation to Michael's wedding, a college friend. I went alone, navy suit, clean shave, no expectations. 20 minutes in, I saw her. Cindy. She was at the bar, wine glass in hand, faint smile at something someone said. Her hair was shorter. She looked thinner, maybe tired. Our eyes met before I could turn away. Our eyes met. Neither of us made the effort to smile. We remained where we stood, motionless. The moment passed without a single word. No dramatic ending, no need for a scene. Just a silent acknowledgement. Heavy with everything that never came to be. Made lighter by the certainty it never would. That night I stepped outside, needing the cool air. My thoughts wandered to the first time Cindy and I danced at that wedding, her hand steady in mine, the rhythm between us so sure, like it could hold against anything. And now, in this strange echo of that memory, I could look at her from across the room and feel no pull, no trace of longing. That was the real goodbye, not the boxes taped shut, not the soft sound of the door closing behind her, not even the careful, measured talk we had weeks after. It was that wordless glance across the room, when we both knew the story had already come to its quiet end. A few familiar faces invited me to join them for a drink. I said yes. Just before leaving, I looked back one last time. Cindy was still there, among friends, but already receding into the background of my life. I walked toward the street, hands buried in my coat pockets. And for the first time in what felt like ages, there was no ache, not for her voice, her closeness, or the silence we used to share, just calm. And that was enough.